When Inception hit cinemas in 2010, it didn't just succeed, it dominated the conversation. People walked out confused, impressed, then went straight back in to watch it again. Christopher Nolan's laid-down, dream narrative, practical effects, and ambiguous ending turned a blockbuster into a decade-defining sci-fi film. You probably know the big ideas: the spinning tub, the dreams within dreams, the ending debate that refuses to die. But behind the scenes, Inception is packed with lesser-known details to make the film even more impressive once you notice. Here are 10 things you probably didn't know about Inception. Cillian Murphy chose his own role. When Christopher Nolan was assembling the cast, he handed down Murphy the script and told him to choose whichever character he felt suited him best. Murphy had worked with Nolan before on Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and this was not a test. Nolan genuinely wanted Murphy to decide. Instead of picking a flashy role like Arthur or even Cobb, Murphy chose Robert Fisher. The character spends most of the film unconscious and exists mainly as a target of the team's plan. Murphy later explained that he chose the role because it felt right, not because it was showy. It is a rare example of an actor prioritizing fit over screen time.
Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
Leonardo DiCaprio shaped the story, not just the performance. Christopher Nolan always wanted DiCaprio for the role of Cobb, but once DiCaprio signed on, his involvement went far beyond acting. Nolan has said that DiCaprio made major contributions to the script, constantly challenging its internal logic and pushing for emotional clarity. As a result, Nolan leaned harder into Cobb's relationship with his children and the personal cost of being trapped away from them. This shift helped ground a complex sci-fi concept in something emotionally accessible. According to Nolan, DiCaprio's input made the film feel less like a puzzle and more like a human story.
Well, can we run with that?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt auditioned without reading the script. Before being cast as Arthur, Levitt had never read a single page of the script. Nolan was extremely protective of it. When Levitt arrived for the meeting, he wore a full suit just in case. By coincidence, it perfectly matched Arthur's final on-screen wardrobe. Originally, the role had been discussed with James Franco, but scheduling conflicts meant the part opened up. Levitt's preparation and instinctive understanding of the character helped him secure the role. Ariadne's name comes straight from Greek mythology. Ariadne is the team's architect, the one who designs the dream worlds. Her name is not random. In Greek mythology, Ariadne helped Theseus escape the labyrinth by giving him a thread to follow. In Inception, Ariadne performs the same function, guiding God through mental mazes and helping him confront what he has buried. Even the maze she draws early in the film is based on the classical labyrinth design, reinforcing the mythological connection. Inception uses far fewer digital effects than most blockbusters. Inception contains around 500 digital effect shots. At that time, most blockbusters of similar scale used well over 2,000. Nolan insisted on achieving as much as possible in camera, including the rotating corridor fight and the folding cityscape. Digital effects were used to enhance real footage, not replace it. Nolan has said that audiences engage more deeply when effects feel physical, even if they cannot consciously explain why. The Impossible Staircase is based on real art. The Penrose staircase scene where Arthur explains paradoxes to Ariadne is inspired by Dutch artist M.C. Escher. The staircase could not exist in reality, but the production team constructed a set that created the illusion from a specific camera angle. Cinematographer Wally Feister described it as a mathematically precise setup, requiring exact lens placement and camera movements to sell the trick. No CGI was used to create the paradox itself. The rotating corridor fight used two massive sets. The first was a 100-foot long corridor mounted inside a rotating rig that could spin a full 360 degrees. Every light and fixture was real and wired with electricity. The second was a vertical version of the same corridor, Gordon-Levitt and the stunt performers were suspended by wires to simulate weightlessness. Nolan cut between the two sets so gravity appears to shift unpredictably, which mirrors the logic of the dream collapsing. Inception is secretly about filmmaking in the end. Nolan has structured the dream team to mirror a film production crew. Cobb is our director with the vision. Arthur is the producer, managing logistics. Ariadne is the production designer, creating the world. Eames is the actor, performing roles within roles. Saito represents the studio, financing everything. Fisher is the audience, for whom the entire experience is constructed. This parallel explains why the film itself feels like a carefully engineered experience rather than a traditional heist movie. Edith Piaf's song shapes the entire score. The song Non Je ne regrette rien is not just a plot device, it influenced the entire soundtrack. The song is exactly 2 minutes and 28 seconds long. Inception's runtime is 2 hours and 28 minutes. Nolan edited the film to mirror the structure. Composer Hans Zimmer based parts of the score on the song slowed down, reflecting how time stretches across dream layers. This is why the iconic Inception score feels distorted and heavy. The ending may already have an answer. Christopher Nolan has never explained whether the spinning top falls at the end of the film. However, Michael Caine has shared something Nolan told him directly. Any scene that includes Caine's character is reality. Scenes without him are dreams. Caine appears in the final scene greeting Cobb at home. Nolan has never confirmed this interpretation, but it is the closest insight we have received from someone who was there. Inception is the rare blockbuster that rewards obsession. The more you dig into it, the more intentional every choice becomes. From character names to camera angles to the music you barely notice. Over 15 years later, people are still arguing about that final shot, and that might be the biggest achievement of all. Thank you for watching, everyone. Till next time.